Today we're working on this GMC. It's a G3500 1-ton cutaway with a, was that a 16-foot box we figured? Yeah. Some of the issues with it are somebody replaced the turn signal with the one from the wrong side. So this is wrong, so I gotta order one of these. And we've got a front end issue. Hard to see here, but got tires, more tread on the outside than the inside, and it pulls to the right, so you're constantly pulling steering wheel to the left. And it's a GM, so I imagine it's got a idler arm that's probably out of it. This was on the back side, the back wheel and tire, so I moved it to the front. And I ordered a new tire. This was something. This tire right here, online or at the Goodyear store. This is a brand new Goodyear Wrangler HT. At the Goodyear store, it's $169 plus mountain balance. Walmart, shipped to Walmart, you pick it up from them, $111. So I don't have to tell you what I did. I went to Walmart, had them order it. So now we're going to find out what's going on with the front end and see if we can get some parts ordered up and get it fixed. So we got to take a look down here. Think that's enough play? GM. I'm going to dismount this tire, mount the new one on, and I don't know if I'm going to have it balanced or if I'm going to use balancing beads. I have to look up and see if 4.5 ounces is the right amount for that size tire. Unfortunately, that's all I have is 4.5, and I think those are, I think they're too much. I think that's too much weight. Let me look. I don't have the right balancing bead ounces, so I'm going to take it and have it balanced, so let's get it changed out. Alright, this has got to come off the other way. So many guys use so many different things, and they get so wound up out of shape about what you use. If it's slick, who cares? If it don't bend the bead, who cares?
Well, you have some of the actual tire stuff.
Yeah, that's the only one that's tough, but
if you don't need it, why, you know, dish soap is cheaper.
All the engineers, armchair engineers, man, they're like, the molecular structure of dish soap versus the compound of the rubber on the tire has a tendency to dissipate, blah, 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 deteriorate.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like they sit at home with nothing else to do but make up this crap. Right?
Right.
That's the way I see it. What do I know? I'm just some guy messing around with trucks who doesn't know what he's doing. I'll get into that one. It's easy and slow. I don't care if I ruin the bead on this tire. Of course, since I don't care, it won't happen. But if you go nice and slow, let the soap do its work. Pretty easy. I don't know about everybody else, but I can't pay somebody $12 to do that.
Well, you can, but you don't want to.
not want to.
Okay, so we obviously got the other one off, but I just had to hit it with tap it with a hammer.
Yeah, just tap the bead a little bit. This is that, you know, super de-duper slick mounting paste, grease, glue, whatever. So, tires have this yellow mark or whatever. This is supposed to be, everybody's got a different theory on this. Some guys say that's where you put your valve stem. Some people say that's the heaviest part of the tire. I don't know. I always line it up with a valve stem and go from there. It seems to work okay for me, so that's what I'm gonna do. Of course, for right now, it doesn't matter. Just, I can move it once it's on, I guess, if I need to. Little tires are harder to mount than the big truck tires. I have to give it a little pry bar action here. I want to get all the crud off the end of my bar in case it got in the mud or grease or rust, whatever else. Doesn't take much. A little pry and let it go. When I do this side, I make sure I grease the back side of that with lube. I stand right here as to get this down that valley or drop center, because man, them tire guys get all wound out of shape about that too. Trick is just don't get too greedy. Don't try and get too big a bite with your bar. I'm impatient, so I'm always trying to take a little bit more than I probably should. But I used to be that guy that just go and have all this done. But then I realized it was easier to keep your money if you do more of your work yourself. Okay.
Well, you mess with tires more than you used to also.
That's
so
true.
It makes a difference.
That's true. Now this our mark. Right there. Okay, I'll give us a air hose and see if she'll air up without today's night. Look at that. Better get my tire tool. I didn't change the needle valve or for the valve stem itself, because it's a bolt-in. That's better than any pull-through. It wasn't leaking. We got there 60, no, 55. What do these need to be at?
I was gonna ask if you wanted my glasses.
Start right here too. They want 80 pounds. So 60. Probably shouldn't stand in front of this air in another case it would come over the bead. Yep. We'll load this in the back of the truck. It's funny because this is what I've been using as my daily driver service truck thing right now. It's like, I don't know, I've been using it a lot because I feel like it's better for me to drive something like this and keep the salt and crap off my Dodge. My silver Dodge sitting over in the other garage. Because this is short timer, you know, I'll have this until it's sold. So I'd much rather put the miles on it and let the rust have its effects on it than I would on something I'm keeping. So I gotta find a cap for that. I don't think there was one. My parts have arrived, so we can put the idler arm and pitman arm in here. The turn signal already showed up, so I put it in. That was all of like, you know, a snap, crackle, pop, and click. So now we're gonna get the pitman arm and idler arm changed out. The pitman arm might be a pickle because the nut looks like you have to take the gearbox loose. I don't know, let's take a look. We're gonna take this airfoil off too. It's the retainers are missing for both sides and I don't have them, and I think it makes the truck look worse with it holding like that. And that end's ripped loose, like it's, you know, parked curb, whatever, and, you know, parked against it and it ripped it or whatever. But this side's still kind of there. It's split, but the ring is still there, but it's broken, so it's not gonna hold it anyways. So we're gonna remove it, make it look gooder. Much, much more gooder. I'm so happy to do this. Ho ho ho! Victory! Ho ho ho! Look at that! Would you just look at that? Would you look at it? Alright. Okay, now I gotta take the idler arm off so we can change the little ditty. Come on now. I don't like GM. I don't like working on GM. I never have to change front parts on a Ford. Greasy. Now I'm gonna have to take the gearbox loose so I can get the pitman arm off. That'll be loads of fun. Loads of fun, I say, loads. Sway bars in the way. 2 bolts. 'Cause I ain't gonna be able to get a puller in there. Let's take another gander here. Oh yeah, that ain't gonna happen. All that banging around is my wife unloading the back of it. Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to stop here. And I take that gearbox loose so I can get to the pitman arm. I never have to change front parts on a Ford. They're easy. But now I'm gonna have to take the gearbox loose so I can get the pitman arm off. That'll be loads of fun. Loads of fun, I say, loads. Sway bars in the way. 3 bolts. Because I ain't gonna be able to get a puller in there. Let's take another gander here. Oh yeah, that ain't gonna happen. All that banging around is my wife unloading the back of it. Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to stop here. And I take that gearbox loose so I can get to the pitman arm. So this is the idler arm we're replacing, and it comes loose here because this joint right here doesn't usually go bad. It's this one right here. It's usually in here, and what happens is it lets this post, when you hit a bump, it lets that post do this, and it makes the steering wheel go until it finally slows down. You hit the brakes, whatever, and then it calms down until you hit the bump again, and it does that. So sometimes this is a cause. In our case, this is the cause. So we're going to replace it with a new one. And then you have to take this off because where this is at, you can't get in here to break this loose. And that's probably an Allen socket right in here. You hold so you can break this loose. We're going to try it with the Milwaukee, see if it'll bust loose first. See if we can do it faster. We'll see. That came off very uneventful. I like to double check them just to be sure they're the same pitch and all that, so we don't get something weird going on because, you know, got the wrong part or something. But look how big the knuckle is on this one, how small it is on there. Wonder if that's been replaced before. Truck's got 140 on it, so pretty good chance she'd been replaced before. This is tapered. You can tell that pretty good. The shaft's tapered. It doesn't matter where it goes in because it turns. It just matters that you use a new nut, because this was a lock nut, a locking nut. Those are one-time use. Supposed to be. I don't think the whole world follows that philosophy, but we are. So then I'll get something in here. I'll hold this, and then I'll put the nut in there and torque it to spec. Holy moly, lady. Safe to say she's dragging chains out of the back of the truck.
Yeah, it's too heavy.
Let's see here. Let's see here. There we go. There's where she goes. do with my blue towel? I lost my blue towel already. What's that say? That'll do. That'll do. Just crap off of here. Wonder if I should wait to put that on until after I get this out of the way. I believe I will. So next we got to take the gearbox loose so I can get the nut off the bottom of the gearbox. And yep, that's what we're doing next. Oh, I need a 1/2-inch wobble extension because this tire's in the way. I'm kind of tired of it. Should turn that tire back.
Can we turn it?
You can't because I got the steering disconnected.
Oh.
Don't you fear, the old Milwaukee's got it. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh look. We should have put safety glasses on the camera.
Yeah.
Look how dirty the camera is. How's that? That's gooder. Alright. Now we got to take the gearbox out of there. So by taking the gearbox loose, I can get my socket on here and then get the puller on. So it might be 33 millimeter. So we'll back this off and I'll put my puller in here and I'll show you what we do with the puller. How I use a Pitman arm puller. Woohoo! Bing, bang, boom. You know, I might have a small slide-on Pitman arm puller that might do this. One of those El Cheapo ones. Let's see what I got. I like to put a little grease on the arbor of anything I'm using like this. This is a snap-on kit. You can use whatever. Put the arms in like this. I got pins that go through. Hold the arms. That. And you can put this in here with these cones. Some assembly required, as you can tell. But it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. Trust me, they say. Put that pin down in there. This one through. Like that. Another cone-shaped washer. Nut, and above all, don't forget the pivot. It goes in the end of the arbor so it can turn. Alright, let me get this set up. That's kind of what we have right there. Let me get it set up on the Pitman arm and I'll show you. Okay, so it's got to go underneath the pitman arm right here with these ears. And they need to be tight. So you use that crossbar and you tighten it up until you have both of them tight and underneath. See, this little ear here goes underneath, and you want it to be as tight as you can get it without, you know, cranking on it and distorting anything. Now we'll put a little pressure on this. Okay, that's what I like to do now. I keep getting in the way of the light here.
What?
I need this. Yeah. Then I'll take the air hammer, give it a little tap. Then I'll run the gun a little more, tap it a little more, you know, back and forth until it comes off. Because I don't want to just use these threads. This is just to put pressure on it. So I use the air hammer to actually shake it loose. I can't do it real well holding the camera, so this has to go. That's where we air hammered. I put pressure on with the puller. I mean, a large amount of pressure. So much that the fingers on this thing are starting to bend. See that one?
Quit putting it higher. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, but it finally got it off. It was an ordeal.
Oops.
Most time on a Ford, on the F-250s we do, I can put this on there, put a little tension, and hit it with the air hammer just a couple times, and it comes off pretty good. But not that one, man. That was a bit of work. Like, I was getting very frustrated. Plus, I'm not that high off the ground, so that always makes it a lot of fun. But don't worry, I had my safety glasses on. Plus, I employed the safety squint method. Alright, put this stuff back. Get the new pitman arm ready to go. I bought this kit because Snap-on had it on promo. I can't remember what it cost, but it's never cheap. It was just not quite as expensive. But there was something I was doing that I needed that longer bar, which is a big reason I bought it. And I got 2 extra small pullers and 2 extra pins with it. I think, oh, I got an extra arbor too, the long arbor. But anyways, all right, we'll get this put away and then we'll put the pitman arm on. We got the gearbox back in, pitman arms back on, and we are putting the nuts into the center link now. We will double check our gearbox bolts again. I'm going to run it back and forth just to make sure there's no crud or anything weird going on, and I'll check them again. All the studs down here are nuts. They're castle nuts, and then they get a cotter pin run through them. Be careful with these. You don't want to go too tight and strip them out because you'll never get a cotter pin to stay. It'd be dangerous. So you have to torque them to the right spec.
That door must not be shut.
Huh?
The door must not be shut because it's dinging.
Go ahead and shut your door. Shut the front door. Okay, I'm gonna cut my cotter pins off. Everybody does their cotter pins different. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. I just do it the way I like to. It's never given me any troubles. I hate this type of work. Of all the things we do, I would prefer to tear a motor apart than I would do steering and suspension work laying on my back. Okay, we're good there. I gotta grease that. Next, we gotta straighten the wheels. We're gonna run the gearbox back all the way one way, count the turns from hard lock right to center, and from center to hard lock left. So we make sure that we got the pitman arm in the right location, because those things are keyed. Where's the old one? There, you can see here, maybe. There's 3 different keyways there. If you would happen to get it off, it would be off 1/3. Can you see them?
Yeah.
All right, so you'd be off 1/3, which means you wouldn't have the same travel in your gearbox. You would be in the middle of one of the turns, or 1/3 farther than the other way. All right, so we're gonna check that real quick. We'll check our gearbox again, make sure we're torqued to spec, and then I can put the sway bar back in. I had to drop the sway bar so I could get to the bolts for the gearbox over here. All right, so let's check the wheel. Okay, I'll get my torque wrench out now and check that. And then the sway bar, I jacked the body, I jacked the frame up so the control arms could hang to make it easier. I think that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so now to get these lined back up, I'll have to do the opposite. So I'll get this in real quick. I want to start all them before I tighten down, because sometimes they can be difficult to put everything. Here's my socket I'll be looking for.
I'll get it in a minute.
Tires. All right, now we're ready to grease both of those and double check everything. I'm gonna grease the whole entire front end and take it for a drive, see if it fixes the problem. See better this way. There it goes. I think this must have been completely dry. I can't believe that. Nothing in there at all. Take that long. Grease. I'll tell you this. I think the invention of these battery grease guns sure saved a ton of suspension parts, because I guarantee you they're getting greased a lot more than they used to by the homeowner. You know, DIY guy. Oh, excuse me. Hear that making all that racket? Grease oozing out everywhere.
Oh. Just kidding.
Alright, we're buzzing along on this old country road here, and it's doing fine. That took care of the problem. So now all we have to do is get the front end aligned, and I believe that this one's done. Alright, that's another one done. So we're gonna move on to something else, which is gonna be the Navigator. I got tires for it the other day. I found a good deal on some used ones. So we're going to put them on there, and we are finished with this one. So like I always say, if you guys like what we're doing, give us that thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Leave your respectful comments down below, guys. We will catch you on the next one.